boom, 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 boom. Chickadee chanka. How's it going, everybody? Hey, guys, sorry I'm so late. But I had to fix the bloody green screen and restart the computer and all sorts of shit. It just decided to crap out on me, doing my bloody head in. But I think I've sorted it out now, lads and lasses. But if I do disappear again, then that's gashed, isn't it? But anyway, thank you very much for joining me tonight. Where do we begin, folks? Where do we begin on this one? What an absolute shit show that was earlier, by the way. One of the worst freaking games of football I think I've ever watched. Oh my god. Literally was gash-tastic, wasn't it? Cletus McYeetus, Will, Jonathan Gallagher, Illy United, Zenzol. Who else is in here? We got Glenn, Mitesh Lakhani, Dylan Gill, Mark Voot, G Wolf, Jay Thanky, Mark O, Koiz Ali, Constant Pratt, Kobe Miranda, Lucy Galbraith, Mac Dons, Callum Kendall, Ellie, hope you're feeling better, Jay Tanky again, GR7, Chip Douglas. Everybody, thank you so much for joining me tonight, guys. Look, we're going to try and relieve a little bit of the tension. We're going to try and chill out a little bit tonight. You know what I mean? This is gash. What a gash game of football that was. One of the worst ever. So we've got to try and just, look, put it behind us. We are going to talk about it a bit. I mean, the initial reaction from people is obviously that of complete disdain. With the performance that actually went out there, you know, tonight from United. It was just completely unacceptable in every single department. There's no real shining light or saving grace to that shit show. It was just completely mundane and horrible, morose and disgusting. So yeah, make no mistakes about it. Nobody should be happy about this, and Solskjaer did have a mayor and all that stuff. But the fact of the matter is, this guy, he needs signings, he needs backing at this stage. We need to give him the foundation to build on. He's done a good job up to now, but I think this just goes to highlight the shite situation that Manchester United are in. And we need to get some players. We need to get Upemacano. We need to get Sancho. We need to get Tellez. Hell, we even could do with a central defensive mid as well, proper one, because McTominay and Pogba are absolutely poo-doo magoo out there tonight. Bloody blind as a bat out there, it seemed. So, yeah, we'll get into some of the reasons why and who we could be looking at and what we should do. But, I mean, this board, the Glazers, this shithouse ownership that we've got, come on, at least invest in the club. At least give Ollie the foundations to build upon rather than just using us as a siphoning method for getting money, you tosspots. Do us a favour if you're tuning in right now. There's 100 of you stopping by. Smash a like on it. Do please smash that thumbs up button. And does it look all right? Does it look normal? Because I swear the green screen's having a complete shit the bed moment. But anyway, let's talk about some of the stuff that happened tonight then. Obviously, we lost. It was a complete gash-tastic calamity. Let's have a look at some of the initial reaction then. So, Solskjaer's come out, obviously, after the game. We were doing the post-match reaction, so we didn't know. And he said, I am very disappointed. This is a direct quote from Solskjaer. He said, I am very disappointed. I think it shows that we're short of competition. And we have to improve quickly. These are 3 points that we wanted and needed. There are 37 games left, but it is a red flag. That's basically saying we need some bloody players. We need to get some players in here. And he's just said there are 37 games left, but this is a red flag. This is a warning that if we don't strengthen right now, we don't have the squad and the capability to do the job. If you look at his selection, you could argue that maybe he's trying to make a point, like we were saying in the match reaction, by selecting a few randomers like Fosu, Mensah and James and stuff in there. But certainly it is a bloody red flag. It is a bloody red flag, this game. It's a red flag that we're absolutely gash. And we're waving that flag pretty freaking brightly, I would say. So, look, we don't want to do anything, like too drastic, I would say. But we absolutely need to go and spend some money. We need to get a few players in there. I'm favouring forgetting Sancho at this stage and going to strengthen elsewhere. Because we need a centre-back. That Victor Lindelof melt is too much of a freaking liability. He's never going to be an... Let's calm down a little bit, guys. Let's freaking calm down. I can't be getting myself stressed out, but it's such a freaking stressful topic. Victor Lindelof, man, he can't be playing in that side. Solskjaer can't be selected in that side, but he can't be playing in the side. So we need to get somebody in there, such as Upemacano. Hell, Badiashile, I'll take a 19-year-old unknown over Lindelof, man, because he's absolutely dreary. We know that he's proven gash, so why persevere with that gash when you can take a chance on somebody who might be class? I'd rather, you know, like some people who buy, like, mystery boxes on eBay, and it's like, what the hell, why the hell do people do that? It's just going to be like an old yo-yo, you know, a pack of blue tack, you know, some party poppers. It's going to be random shite, basically. It might come up to an amount of money, but it's random shite. I feel like I would rather do that with a player, just a mystery player, you know, open up a FIFA Ultimate Team pack and get whoever the hell hell you get instead of Victor Lindelof, because he's not good enough. So we need to get somebody in there, centre-back, whoever that may be. Upemacano seems like a good shout. Have we got the bottle to do it? There's players like Koulibaly. There's other players that we could get, perhaps, if we were prepared to spend the money and get this centre-back partnership in place and get this defence better. There's so many different options out there that we could bring in, so I don't understand why this board are fanning around trying to get Sancho for 120 million quid now when we could get other players. I mean, trust me, I'd love to get Sancho in as well as these players. That's what we should do. That's what we bloody should do as a football club. But these owners and our Woodward potato, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do anything like that. So it's just another one of those, isn't it, lads and lasses? Like, there's not a whole bunch we can do about it other than just hope that we make some signings. Look at Solskjaer's statement. I'm very disappointed. I think it shows we're short of competition. That's exactly what it shows. We're short of competition. Wan-Bissaka's got a knock. We've got Fosu Mensah or Dallo. Greenwood's got a knock, or he's shagged someone. We've got James. So we have got issues in the team that we need to address. We need to get some better quality and depth in there. McTominay in the centre of the park today. Pogba didn't work, did it? Looked gash, giving it away a lot. Just piss poor, really not up to the standard. So we need to get some other players in to help us out. I am not opposed to financing the deal with certain players, like maybe Paul Pogba, for instance. Look, if we have to sell Paul Pogba, but we end the window with Sancho, Telles, Upemacano, I'd be like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. Considering we got, because Paul Pogba's done what he's done, but he's not ever really lived up to it for United. But Solskjaer, very, very disappointed there, as you can see. Very disappointed. He needs players. He's said that himself. Very disappointed. We need some competition. So hopefully the board will listen to that. And there's been a lot of ex-United players coming out and reacting to this right now. I'll just give you a few quotes from Mr. Gary Neville, who was absolutely pissed off, like all of us United fans, with this performance by United. He simply said, one of the areas that Manchester United are going to try and strengthen is centre-back, and it has to be a quick one. Someone who can defend one-on-one, said Neville. Ayew and Zaha will fancy it against Lindelof and Maguire one-on-one, but you look through all the best centre-back partnerships down the years. This is what he said before the game. So he knows that that was actually, he sort of foreshadowed what was going to happen really there. That Zaha and Ayew were just going to absolutely do Lindelof and Maguire one-on-one. So he absolutely foreshadowed that, didn't he? And so, look, after Zaha bodied Lindelof and buried his second goal of the day, he said he's got them exactly where he wants them. He's just not strong enough there, Lindelof. It's a 50-50. It's weak. So Lindelof got done there, absolutely piss poor. We all know that Lindelof's performance tonight was absolutely dreary. I mean, he didn't look like a defender. He didn't really put the defensive, he didn't put himself in those defensive positions where he's actually trying to block or gets his foot in or gets a tackle in. He's sort of running with people, but that's not enough. He's got to try and get the ball off of them as well. He says, you can talk about Jadon Sancho all you like, but until they get a centre-back in who can run and defend one-on-one, you're never going to win a league. And that's so true, guys, because if you can't have a strong foundation and you're going to leak goals against teams like Crystal Palace, you're never going to achieve anything, ever. It doesn't matter how good you are going forward, really. Sure, you can outscore sometimes, but sometimes teams are going to work you out. Teams are going to break you down. Teams are going to not let you score, and they're going to score more than you, just like Crystal Palace did today. And that's only Crystal Palace. Never mind when we get hold of a real team coming up against us. No disrespect to Crystal Palace. They deserved it. They battered us today, really. That was a slobber knocker from Crystal Palace. They definitely made us look like a bunch of melts. So no disrespect to Palace. It's all the disrespect is towards United at the moment because of how shit that performance was. But yeah, you need to get that strong centre-back pairing in there. We just don't have that. He says you're never going to win the league with that centre-back pairing. They have got to be mobile, quick, dominant centre-back in alongside Lindelof or Maguire. Their defending has been better since Christmas, no doubt, but you're talking about going up a level. So this is what Gary Neville thinks, and again, we have to completely agree with him, don't we? Because he's spot on. Like Lindelof and Maguire, they're too damn slow. We saw actually for that first goal where Schlupp got down the left, he's whipped the ball, and I think it was Schlupp, I forget now, whipped it in, and of course Townsend's met it at the back stick. Well, yes, Lindelof's had an absolute nightmare defensively, not getting the block off. But also, the fault does have to lie with Luke Shaw and Maguire, who were just nowhere. They were nowhere. They didn't get back quick enough, and they almost seemed to be sort of jogging at a canter. They didn't have that communication. Who should be where either at the time? Like, one of them should be a little bit deeper. Luke Shaw should have been closer to Townsend. He should have been basically they shouldn't have been in tandem like they were, aimlessly running back. They should have been covering a little bit of space where that ball could come in. And they don't seem to have that level of partnership or understanding between them whatsoever. And they're just all slow as shit. So I've had enough of them. Thank you everyone who's getting in here, by the way. We will be going into the comments section a bunch. Oi Fixity says there's no one talking about Luke Shaw being out of position because the first goal he wasn't there to intercept the pass. I just did actually, my friend. He didn't get back at all. Yeah, I totally agree. He was out of position. So was Maguire. And I just thought they were gash, mate. They were really bad for that first goal. So spot on. Do us a favour if you're watching this vid, lads and lasses. Please do smash us a thumbs up on it. That will help this stream out loads and help us out considerably with the channel. By the way, lads and lasses, we smashed 29k. Come on, my son. Get in there. On YouTube, everybody stick a love heart emoji in the live chat for smashing 29k on YouTube. That is the only silver lining of this day. But actually, it's not really a silver lining, like I say. It's more like a ginger lining. It's a ginger lining, a Moisey-esque ginger lining. But anyway, yeah, nice one, guys. So we hit 29k on the channel, so thank you everybody that's been watching this channel and getting involved over the years. Rajon, Dean Flynn, Jonathan Gallagher, G Wolf, Craig C, Oliver H, Dean Flynn again, getting those love hearts in. Thank you very much, lads and lasses, appreciate it. Right then, so yeah, and Gary Neville went on to say obviously that we basically couldn't win the league. So that is, I completely agree with that. We have to get signings in. Solskjaer's desperate for a big proper centre-back, for a quick centre-back, for somebody who can defend one-on-one, for somebody who can defend in the air. Victor Lindelof's not good at defending one-on-one. He's also not good at defending in the air, man. Physically, he's a little melt. In the air, he doesn't win that aerial battle most of the time, in my observations. He's just lackluster in every single department. So yeah, I definitely think that he's a problem area for Manchester United and we need to improve upon that immediately. Gary Neville feels exactly the same about Victor Lindelof. You know, he doesn't want to slate any players. Us fans, we of course will slate the players if they're gash pundits and ex-Man United players who have played for this great football club. They will often be quite reserved with their responses, but he has said it quite clearly there. I mean, not Roy Keane, but he said it quite clearly there that Manchester United will never win the Premier League with this centre-back pairing and that Lindelof's just not up to the standard and we need to get somebody who can defend. It's as simple as that. Ryan Giggsy's come out and says the fans won't be happy now because even before, if they get a positive result, they still want to see new faces through the door. And also a few going out as well. So there's a lot to think of for Ollie and the board. In terms of the new centre-back, Giggsy said, we can talk about new players coming in, but there's enough quality on that pitch to beat Crystal Palace, which is true. He said just the intensity wasn't there. Crystal Palace wanted it more in the 50-50s, and they just looked better over the whole 90 minutes. Okay, when United scored, you thought they would go on and get another, but Palace could have scored more with Zaha staying on side, a little more quality in the final pass. Actually, Palace could have gone and broke. Why the bloody hell don't we go and get Wilfried Zaha instead of Sancho? Like, he's a good option. He's cheap. He's cheap in the sense that Manchester United would actually get some cash back on him. We'd get cash back on him because we got a future percentage of the sell-on fee. So it makes a whole lot of sense maybe to go and get something like that. He's actually a really good player. He's got Premier League experience. He will be a useful player. There's so many different options. I mean, we weren't even talking about Wilfried Zaha. We've been talking about other options to Jadon Sancho as being like David Neres or possibly Ousmane Dembele or possibly bloody Coman or whoever the hell. We've been linked in loads of players, but we haven't really talked about Zaha. Zaha's a decent bloody option. Problem is, our board aren't prepared to go and make the gambles and get these players in and pay the money, it seems. So forget Jadon Sancho to me. We've got bigger, glaring issues at the back. We've got a centre-back problem that needs addressing immediately. And until we do that, Gary Neville's right, we won't win anything. Until we do that, we are going to leak goals at the back because we've just got terrible, bloody crap defenders. Simple as that, and that goes for Luke Shaw to a degree. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's a great player, nor will he ever be. So let's get Tellez in there to help. If you look at his stats, they're very impressive. We've got to get these players in now. There needs to be a few players coming in, an influx of players in this window. Donny van der Beek said to MUTV after the game, he just said that was not good enough today. Last week in training, it looked really good. There were lots of quality and we played fast, but today we played so slowly. It's so true. I think the midfield was a big factor in that. Pogba and McTominay just seemed to slow it down all the time. Particularly Paul Pogba, man, are just really annoying. Like, we want to get that fluid, passing on the go. That's what I want to see anyway. And Donny certainly improved that upon when he came on. But definitely Paul Pogba was a letdown today as well. And McTominay just wasn't that good either. Piss poor. He said, first match for the club, a day you want to win. It doesn't matter how you want to win. And I'm really disappointed that we lost 3-1 at home. That's really bad. Fair play to Donny, man. He looked like he was watching an absolute horror show when he was on the sidelines. And then he came on and he scored a goal and he did well, to be fair. So Donny van der Beek, I think, deserves the credit of having a really good debut. It's not his fault that the team around him was absolutely shite. His finish was brilliant, by the way. Smash a 1 in the live chat if you love Donny van der Beek's finish, because that was a lovely finish. You know, that's not bad, is it? One game at United, one goal already, the only goal of the game. Like, fair play to Donny van der Beek, man. He's done well. Mrs. P with a super chat says, congratulations on 29k subscribers, Tofui. Thank you very much for that, love. Appreciate it. Everyone get your cake emoji in the live chat for Mrs. P. But yeah, look at all those ones. Gideon MJ, thank you, Gideon. Ashley Jenkins, Kayam, Ahmed Hamad, Laurie Iare Sunday, Jeanette Pugh, Phil Dumbledore, Clifford Day, Lucy Galbraith, Illa United, Craig C, Dean Flynn. Everyone, thank you very much for voting there. Yeah, look, we obviously had a great time watching that goal go in, but that was the only moment of the game that there was any real quality from Manchester United, and that came from our new signing, 23-year-old signing, who, as it turned out, when he came on the pitch, he was like the player we had to call upon to try and be our saviour. And when he did score, there was that moment of relief, and that belief maybe came back that we could get something from the game, but that soon petered out with another piss-poor defensive display. So what can you say about it? I mean, he did it. He had a good game. He says, I think against an opponent like Crystal Palace, you need to speed up the game to create something. That was not good enough. So he seems to understand what the issue is and what we're trying to do here. And in quite a stark contrast, when Pogba was on the pitch, he slowed it right down. He said Crystal Palace prep with, this is what Solskjaer actually said after the game as well, which is a fair point. He said Crystal Palace prepped with 4 friendlies, while we have had 1 friendly. It showed we are way short. So yeah, United, I think, were kind of at a little bit of a disadvantage in terms of our pre-season, because when you think about it, Crystal Palace have had a few friendlies. That's just piss poor planning from our club then, isn't it? Wouldn't have probably done us any good anyway, because we haven't got any new signings or anything in. There's injuries, and you know, it's just we would have probably got injuries, and it's just a nightmare. So yeah. That's a fair point. Crystal Palace have played a game last week in the Premier League against Southampton, wasn't it? And they won, so that's definitely good preparation for them. This was our first game going cold into the new Premier League season. But even so, we should have smashed up Crystal Palace, guys. There's no excuse, really. But he's right, though. We were ill-prepared for this season in every way. We're ill-prepared with how we've approached the start of the season with pre-season friendlies. We could have had some more sort of behind closed doors friendlies or something like that, rather than just all these training sessions. We lost 1-0 to Aston Villa. That's not good pre-season, is it? It's one of the worst, got to be the worst pre-season I can remember in terms of preparation. We didn't really do that shit in terms of preparation with playing games and stuff like that. Bit of training, bit of 11v11, yeah, nice one. B team versus A team, that's shit. That's not going to get you that sort of match sharpness and intensity that you need. Need some proper pre-season friendlies. I know there was internationals. I know United had that August period where we played in the Europa, but even so, I think it's a piss poor start to the season. And then with the signings that we've made, there is no competition. What Solskjaer has said is right there, that we need to get competition. He says there are 3 points that we needed and wanted. The next one's against Brighton. We've got to win that one, because if we don't win against Palace and Brighton, then we've got no points against the only 2 teams realistically that you could say we should be definitely getting points from. Because the other games that we've got Newcastle United after that, but Spurs we've got coming up, Arsenal, I think, is it Chelsea? We've got some big games in October, so that's going to be a tough month for us, and we're not expected to get all maximum points in those games. We probably will we'll win some of those games, I hope. But we're not expected to get maximum points from them, whereas you are expected to get maximum points against Brighton and Crystal Palace. So to not do that is a complete calamity from United in this one. So Solskjaer very disappointed, as he should be. Ryan Giggs thinks it's an absolute piss take as well. He's not too happy about it. Gary Neville's like, what the fuck's going on? Donny van der Beek disgusted by his first game and his first teammates, and he said it just wasn't good enough. And then Gash. Solskjaer also said today was a performance you don't see very often from the group. Absolutely, it was a Gash-tastic performance. We have been playing better, towards the end of last season. Solskjaer says, I spoke to Roy Hodgson, and he said they had 4 friendlies and this was their 3rd competitive game. And it's a big difference to our one against Aston Villa last week. So there's another quote from Solskjaer after the game. Sounds like, it's some excuses really, but it's a valid point. We haven't had the preparation or the planning. What I would say also, though, about Solskjaer is his selection was bizarre today. Like, that is weird. Why have Fosu-Mensah, James and McTominay in there and Lindelof? We've all said that Lindelof wasn't good enough. Surely he knows that from last season, because he wasn't to an acceptable level for the majority of the season. He made a lot of errors. They don't have the pace, and that's what's so infuriating about it. When you come up against really pacey teams, most teams in the Premier League have a good bit of pace up top. But certainly teams like Zaha and Ayew and these guys, you have to have defenders who can defend really well one-on-one. They don't have to be the quickest, but they have to be pretty quick, and they have to be able to just read the game well. Vidic wasn't the quickest player. He was quick, but he wasn't the quickest player. Rio was quick, but as well, but he was a big unit. It's not like he's, Linford Christie or anything. So he had to, they read the game very well. They were physical and they were quick. Rio was quick for a centre-back, don't get me wrong, but, like coming up against the quickest attackers, of course, attackers are just quicker than centre-backs because centre-backs generally are taller, bigger, more physical players, like Harry Maguire or whoever, they're there to win the ball in the air, clear it away, be physically strong and mark players and that kind of thing. So that's why they have different attributes than forward players. Forward players obviously much quicker in general. So yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we need some bit of pace there. We also need somebody who can actually judge the game and defend one-on-one properly. So, yeah, piss poor there, lads and lasses. Yeah, so Gary Neville says we're never going to win the league. He also said we can talk about Jadon Sancho all we like, but until MUFC get a centre-back who can run... Oh, we've already read that one out. Sorry, guys. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to cover a little bit of sort of some journalist reaction on here. Nothing that interesting here quickly, and then we'll get on to some transfer stuff. But James Ducker's come out and said, how can Manchester United start a brand new season with Timothy Fosu-Mensah and Daniel James as their right flank? He's got such a point there. How piss poor weak is that? Timothy Fosu-Mensah and Daniel James as your right flank. That's ridiculous. They're supposed to be moving forward. As pressing as their need for a right-sided forward is, though, how another centre-half has not been prioritised is staggering. Everybody can see this, guys. We've been talking about this. Everybody knows you have to get a quality centre-back in to be a quality team. We don't have those players, so really we're just failing in every aspect in this window. We're actually prioritising the wrong areas of the pitch. I mean, if you remember when we were talking about Paul Merson, when he'd been smoking crack and talking about Manchester United, saying that Donny van der Beek was a panic signing. Well, you know what? It's starting to make a bit more sense to me now, because it's not a panic signing at the end of the window, but it's kind of like a signing that's a bargain, that's going to hold its value, that's going to increase in value in terms of an asset and be a good player for you. It's a good all-round signing. There's no risk involved there. But it's also a signing that if you only get him, it's adding something to the team that you're already okay at. Don't get me wrong, the midfield could definitely, I think based on today, definitely do with some improvement as well. And Donny coming in will definitely do that. But it's also not exactly the most important area. He's not an out-and-out central defensive midfielder. He's not a centre-back. He's not a left-back. He's not a right winger. So it kind of is a bit of a bizarre one. Unless you're going to go out there after you get Donny and sign a few different players in a few different positions. It's a bit of a random one, isn't it? But now he's in. I'm obviously buzzing my tits off that we've got him because he seems bossa nova. Do us a favour if you're watching this stream, guys. Smash the thumbs up on it. Please do leave a cheeky little like on the stream. You can give it a share on social media if you're that way inclined. If you're new to the channel, smash the subscribe button. We're on the road to 30k now. I can't quite believe I'm saying that, but we are. We hit 29k tonight, so shout out to everyone who's in here and getting involved. But James Ducker, I just completely agree with that tweet there. Shout out to the transfer guru, Mr. Matthew Rush. Follow him on Twitter, MattUnited20, because he's absolutely a bossa nova, is this guy. Nice one. So we've got a little bit of transfer news and stuff to talk about, which we will get into in a moment. I also just wanted to read this one out from Samuel Luckhurst, who says, Wan-Bissaka only returned to training this week, which is why Fosu-Mensah is in ominous again for Dalot. James performed well at Villa, albeit from the left, which is true, he did. Van der Beek, unfortunate not to start. That's right. So really, Daniel James should only ever be a backup player, though. That, like, deputising for Rashford on the left-hand side sounds about right for Daniel James. And Greenwood deputising for Sancho or somebody of that ilk on the right-hand side, or even somebody more experienced on the right-hand side, also makes a lot of sense. And deputising for Martial up top there, because Greenwood's a natural goal scorer. So it makes a heck of a lot of sense to do that. And all of a sudden, basically, if you just sign a right winger, it gives you depth in all areas. It's as simple as that. Forget Lingard and Pereira. We're not even talking about these prats. Mata, I don't like him playing on the wide positions. But if you had James and Rashford on the left, Sancho and Greenwood on the right, and effectively Igalo, Martial, and of course Greenwood as a striking option as well, and Rashford as well, who could play there. But you know, as those different options, then you've all of a sudden got a shitload of depth up top there. So that's the reason. Obviously, Wan-Bissaka was in Dubai or something, I think, and he had to have a couple of weeks quarantine, and he only returned to training. So it's probably why Greenwood didn't feature as well, because he wasn't involved in the training much either. So there you go. Just wanted to give you an update on that as to why Wan-Bissaka didn't start the game, and why, of course, Fosu-Mensah started the game. Okay, great stuff. Liam Canning also said, after what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did last season, find it absolutely astonishing how it hasn't been properly back this summer. Every other top club in the Premier League has been going to slip further down the table. Appalling. completely agree there with Liam Canning. I mean, unless we do something proper in this window, like, it is just going to be a nightmare season, really. We've started as we're probably going to go on there. Solskjaer will get us a bunch of wins, and we will be hard to beat against the bigger teams because we'll have to set up defensively and soak them up and hit them up, and we're good at counter-attacking. But actually coming up against teams when we've got to do the domination and we've got to take the game to them, we're going to really struggle. I think that was evident today. It doesn't help that some of our key star players didn't turn up today. If Rashford's at the races, if Luke Shaw's at the races, that definitely helps. If Bruno Fernandes is at the races, if Martial's at the races, if they take their chances, if Pogba bangs one of those chances in that he created, then, you know, it would have been a different day at the office, but that didn't happen. So it just was an overall terrible team performance full of individual errors. Nightmare. Guys, what a calamity, eh? What a horror show of an evening. But come on, I mean, who doesn't think that we need to get a centre-back? Smash a 1 in the live chat if you think centre-back should be priority number 1. Smash a 2 in the live chat if you don't think that's the case and maybe it's a different area. But smash a 1 in the live chat if you think that centre-back should be the number 1 priority in this window. Mark O with the vote. Thank you very much, guys, for voting and getting involved in this video. By the way, we've already smashed 100 likes on this stream. That's sick. Appreciate it, guys. I've only just got going, so thank you very much for getting involved and smashing the like button. If you haven't done it already, please do leave that thumbs up. That will help this stream out and help us compete with some of the other channels, etc. So thank you very much for doing it so. Illy United, Clifford Day, Eamon Barrett, all with the 1. Lucy Galbraith, Paps Midhun, Mo, OP Dragon, John Hinton, Callum, Victor Davies, Knock Fernie, Rico Perch, Frederick Amora, Illy United, Gandalf, Honest Moella, Gandalf, Jarvis Cocker James. Everyone voting for 1 pretty much. There's a couple of 2s in there, but we all know that centre-back is the problem area, so it's just one of those things. Let's have a shortlist then. Who is the shortlist for Manchester United centre-back positions? We've had a talk about Upemacano, which doesn't seem like there's any real movement from United, which I don't understand because he looks boss. He is available for a reasonable amount of money. It's understood that in a year's time, release clause will come into effect in his contract where he could be bought out for somewhere in the region of 45 to 50 million euros. So they've got to be pretty evident of that over there at RB Leipzig, that they might lose out a player for a little bit less money unless they do sell now. So if a big enough offer came in from Manchester United for Upemacano, somewhere in the region of, let's just say, and play a game and say, let's just say like 50 or 60 million pounds, with maybe Phil Jones going in the opposite direction or some shit, then maybe they might just accept it. And maybe we might be able to get a good centre-back in here. We might actually be able to get a quality player for a change. And he's only 21 and he'll only be getting better. So it's not really much of a gamble for Manchester United to do that. He's going to be better than what we've got now. He can't be any worse than what we've got now. Look, I've only seen a couple of games from Upemacano, really a few games, but he's always impressed me. And I definitely think that that's not the case for somebody like Victor Lindelof or Phil Jones or Chris Smalldon or Marcus Rojo or any of these guys, really. They're not that impressive to me. They're not consistent enough. Sometimes they have a good game. I've seen Lindelof boss some games. Towards the end of last season, he was doing really well. But he's still not consistent enough or reliable enough to hang your hat on for Manchester United. He's got to be improved upon. So Upemacano would make a great player. There's a couple of other ones like Koulibaly. There's Pau Torres, as some people talk about. Get your players in. Who would you like to see Manchester United sign at centre-back? Just write the surname in the live chat. Let me know who would you like to see. Jarvis Cocker says, but is Upemacano the right player? Does he suit our style? Well, I don't know what we really would call our centre-back style at the moment. It's just a complete calamity, isn't it? So whatever the style is, we'd need to improve it. I mean, he's definitely more athletic. He's quick. So I like that. I think I think he's going to probably be better than Victor Lindelof, even at 21. Plus, he's got that potential. And in terms of style and in terms of bedding into the team, he can just learn that and adapt to the Premier League and United. And that's going to take time. But I'd rather persevere with somebody who's got the potential to be great than stick with Lindelof, who we know is gash. That's great to hear, by the way, Ellie, that you're much better. That is brilliant. Thank you for getting in here as well, Eddie, and moderating, and everybody else, all the other moderators. Shout out to you, legends. Paul van der Beeksofsky, great to have you in here, Paul. Have a great evening. Thank you very much. Good night, pal. Ethan Webb comments, Upemacano 100%. Oh, interesting comment, Adebayo Fawaz. He says Upemacano and Koulibaly. So you think we should just replace Maguire and Lindelof with Koulibaly and Upemacano? Well, you know what? I mean, that would probably be better, wouldn't it? I mean, Maguire's been good, but again, he's just not that good. Genlar says you can't have 2 slow centre-backs, so Upemacano's pace will help. There you go. You see, it's quite important. That's why I liked the Nathan Ake potential signing, not just because he's left-footed, but also because he's quite quick. It is good to have that balance. You don't necessarily want two players that are too similar. And Lindelof and Maguire are both quite slow, and they're both sort of good on the ball, but we want stoppers and we want really good defenders who are one-on-one and have that pace. And that's quite important. You need somebody with pace at the back there. You need someone with pace at the back. Callum says Ruben Dias. That's obviously a good shout as well, actually. You know, not too many people have been speaking about him recently. He was linked to us about a year ago, though. Yeah. Upemacano, Ruben Dias. Tellez says Ill United. Jonathan Gallagher simply says Lindelof needs sold. Yep. IO Fixity says, think a centre-back from Bundesliga or League One would fit Man United well. Yeah, so there's a couple that we've been linked to from those leagues. There's Upemacano's one, and then the other one is Badiashile over in League One. So it's possible that we might try and plunder a player from those leagues. It's more likely than getting somebody in this league, because we're not going to spend the premium money that you have to get a player from another Premier League side or a homegrown player. Jonathan Gallagher says Upemacano. Josh Killeen says Lingard. Gift Stevens says Douglas Costa can fit. The thing is with Douglas Costa is he's 30. He is a decent player. He's a good backup option, but I just don't see him necessarily keeping Greenwood out of the team. And what I want this signing to be is somebody that actually deserves to be, based on experience and qualities and stuff, ahead of Greenwood. And I know Douglas Costa is a really good player. Don't get me. Oh, sorry, you're talking about centre back. I thought you meant. What's his face? The one, the Brazilian right winger. That's who I thought you meant anyway. Or the Brazilian winger. What's his name? I've forgotten now. Or are you think? No, hang on. I'm getting all confused. Is there Diego Carlos is the centre-back we were linked to as well? Douglas Costa is the winger. That's right, isn't it? Diego Carlos and Douglas Costa. Or is it Douglas Carlos and I don't know. I'm getting mixed up there. First Class Gamer in his house. What's going on? He says, agreed, Ryan. I'll speak to everyone later and make sure things like that don't happen again. We can move on. What's going on, First Class Gamer, mate? Good to see you. What's happening, mate? What's happening? But anyway, First Class Gamer, good to see you, pal. Hope you're having a good one. Of course, an Arsenal fan. Man, Gashu says, bring Vidic back. Can't be worse than the shit show we witnessed today. Hey, mate, you know, you make such a good point. Even Vidic at like bloody 43 or 45 or whatever he is. How old is Vidic now? He's not even that, is he? I'd definitely have the manager. Definitely have the manager at the back instead of Lindelof. Salim Umar says, sell Lindelof. Problem with that, Salim, is who's going to pay a lot of money for Victor Lindelof at the moment? Get your valuations in, lads and lasses. How much do you think Victor Lindelof would demand in this transfer window? I'm thinking round about £500,000. No, I don't know. See, the thing is, it depends on the wages. See, nobody's really queuing up to sign our players. He's just not that good. A. Ahmed says, get Vidic and Evra back. Yeah, Evra loves the game, to be fair. Did you see Evra turned out in like some, I don't know, like some London league, like pub league game the other day? Was it a pub league or like some Sunday league team, basically? He just played left wing for him. Do you know what I mean? Imagine getting Patrice Evra playing left wing for you down in Sunday league. That'd be sick, man. I'd just be like, get the ball to Patrice every single time. I bet he's still rapid as anything. And that's blatantly where you would play him as well, even though he's played left back for United. You definitely have him playing left mid because he's just going to run riot there. OP Dragon says 65 million pig. I think that might be a little bit much for Victor Lindelof. I think probably he's more like a £20 million player, if we're being honest. I still think he's a good player. £20 million. I don't know, somewhere around that. I don't see him being that much. Matt Rush says 35 million. Yeah, interesting. David Murphy says 10 mil max as his wages would be silly. How much is he paid? I think it's over 100k, isn't it? It is a lot of money. Nobody wants to come in and pay a player that sort of money if they're not going to be top standard. Trevor Lawrence says, I'll go for 15 or 20 for Victor. Yeah, fair play. Johnny Gallagher, 35. Mo thinks 25. Zenlo says, we paid 87 for Maguire. We couldn't even sell for 50 million if we wanted to now. It's a good point. Wasn't it 80? But maybe 87 with fees or something, yeah. 50 million if we want. It's a good point. I mean, how much would Maguire be worth? That's a very good point. 40 or 50 million? I don't know. 50, 60 million? He wouldn't be worth that. He wouldn't be worth any more than that. I don't see anybody wanting to pay more than 50 million for him at the moment, based on form and based on sort of value in the transfer market and what else is going on. I don't see him being worth any more than that at all. Charlie MFC says 15 million. Honest Muella says 20 million. Well, at least you're honest there, my friend, you know. But 25 million, maybe a little bit low. 35 million Maguire, says Mengashu 911 GT. Edwin Kamawi comments, I hate Lindelof. Please, I hate seeing even Woodward watching Man United game. Oh, yeah, he would look like a sickening bastard watching on from the sidelines, didn't he? I've had enough of that guy. Just something about his face just winds me up, guys. It really is a wind-up. Tony Shields says 30 million. Charlie MUFC says 35 million. Marco says Lindelof 40 million tops. It seems like, oh, hang on. Takudzwa Mandando comments, Maguire for 50 million. Yeah, I mean, look, I think that's max. I think maximum, you're right. Marco says 60 million Maguire, 40 million for Illa, 45 for Johnny. Look, I think probably 20 million for Lindelof, 50 million for Maguire is probably the max you're going to get, in my opinion. You might get a bit more for Lindelof, I suppose, than what I've said there, but maybe not. Okay then, so what is the latest transfer news, guys? I mean, there's not that much more. We're still looking for Alex Telles for a deal to be reached between Manchester United and Porto for the player. We've understood to have reached personal terms with Alex Telles, which is brilliant. But we agreed personal terms with Agreon. We agreed personal terms with Thiago. So that doesn't really mean jack shit. We need to agree terms with the football club for the amount of money that is going to be for the transfer and get that all done and dusted. There was also competition for PSG, which we're understanding. But there is just a couple of little bits of information I wanted to say here. So when asked about left back, if PSG are looking for a left back, so PSG are not having a good start to the season over in League One. So they were asked, their manager, Thomas Tuchel, was asked about signing a possible left back, and he just simply said it's not a priority, no. So they're not, judging by what he said there, unless he's keeping his cards close to his chest, they're not looking at necessarily strengthening the left back position. He just simply said, no, that is not a priority. So whether or not they are considering a bid or thinking about a bid is another story we don't really necessarily know. From what I understand, PSG haven't had any contact with Porto at this moment in time, but Manchester United should be and maybe have. So that's the latest we've got on Alex Telles. And for me, that one's a no-brainer. If you look at Luke Shaw and how he sort of had a bit of a nightmare today and just looked a little bit ropey throughout the whole entire game and will be injured throughout some of the season and does have fitness concerns and does carry a little bit of extra paunch, it would make a lot of sense to get Telles. Plus, Telles scored a penalty, I think, tonight or today. So he could add that to us. I know we've got Bruno Fernandes, but if he's not on the pitch, he seems like a cool customer there. I did wonder why he's got so many goals and stuff like that, but his assists and all the stats that he's got over there are ridiculously impressive. So he would definitely give competition for places. He wouldn't be a lot of money. It's being talked about 22 million euros or somewhere around there. Could be 20, could be 30, but he's not got long left on a contract, and he's not on a lot of money either. I think he's potentially on like 60 or 80,000, somewhere around that. So United could definitely get him done for good money, good reasonable money, pay him about 100k a week, 120k a week, somewhere around there. So it seems good value money for Manchester United to go ahead and go and get Alex Telles, and he's just a player that would definitely benefit our backline and give Luke Shaw some competition and maybe keep him out the side based on recent performances from Luke Shaw, to be fair. Jeanette Pugh says Teletubby Shaw, poo. Uh-oh. Pider, what's going on, Pider? He says Michael Keane and Johnny Evans would be better than the current partnership. Hey, they wouldn't do that much worse. Johnny Evans was actually not too bad for a spell for United, but yeah, definitely not United quality. Azar Parak says we will never win a trophy or challenge for top four again with Maguire and Lindelof as our partnership. We desperately need a centre-back. Absolutely. Definitely do. Mr. Edwards comments, probably too many politics going on with contracts for Maguire and other mediocre players. There's lots of bullshit going on behind the scenes, obviously, with what's going on. They don't want to spend the money. There's so much red tape and different hurdles you have to jump over at United. Think about it. Solskjaer's. He's got to obviously let the board know. He's got to go through Woodward. They've got to consult the board. He's got to consult the board. They've got to consult the owners. It's just a complete nightmare. What you need is a director of football with a big pot of money who's allowed to spend it how he and the manager sees fit and the recruitment team sees fit. That's how it should be. Just a completely separate entity, director of football, organising all the different football transfers and aspects and recruitment of the game. But no, we don't have that. We've got a banker doing it. Nightmare. Mr. Miyagi says, people forget Fergie took 4 seasons to win his first trophy. So quick to judge people. Exactly, Mr. Miyagi. It's very true. Slightly different times, but actually quite similar in some ways, because United were just not where they needed to be back then. And it did take Fergie many seasons, and he almost got the sack at one point. If it wasn't for that winning that FA Cup replay, then he would have got the sack. And then obviously won the Premier League. in the first year of the Premier League there. So yeah, it was very, he came full circle there. He went up and down at United, and then it all came good, and then it was just massive success after that. So yeah, I do think that Manchester United need to be patient with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I'm not blaming Solskjaer at all for any of this business in the window. It's all to do with the board and their reluctance to spend money, and also the recruitment process and just the general recruitment of the football club not being up to scratch. That's what it really is about, guys. Nice one. No Bones Jones. Hello, matey. Mr. Edwards says, I buy the Sir Alex point, but it's clearly, what's the rest of your comment, Mr. Edwards? Ashley Jenkins. Ben Dover says, Pig, do you think Ollie is the man, or should we get Poch? Definitely not Poch. Poch is gash. Dean Flynn, good night, Dean. Thanks for stopping by, mate. Poch is gash, mate. Why do people bang on about Poch? He ain't won nothing. He's never won anything, man. He's won less than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's not won jack shit. You don't get a prize. You get a runners-up medal. You don't get a prize for finishing in the Champions League second and coming runner-up. You don't get a prize for that. You also get sacked after a couple of months of being shite in a really good team and managing a really good team. So I don't think Poch is the answer at all. So no, I don't want Poch. I think Ollie's done a good job. He just needs backing. He needs some help. We need some better players. Look, maybe that lineup tonight could have been different, but ultimately, those are the players he's selected from, and there's reasons behind that. There's fitness concerns, there's also quarantine issues, where these players, certain players like Greenwood or Wan-Bissaka, were not playing with the team, were not training with the team for a while. Pogba as well. I mean, he played, but, so there's definitely some different aspects behind the scenes we don't necessarily know about for his reasons and his selections, but it does further highlight the inadequacies in certain positions on our team. Certainly centre-back, certainly a wing-back, certainly a right winger. It's just not, we don't have the depth there and the quality, so we've got to get him in. Aaron Homeyard, what's crack-a-lacking, Aaron? Kayam says, Pig, why you read No Bones comments but not one of mine? I didn't read No Bones comments. I simply said, hi, No Bones. I didn't even read his comment, mate. Get it right? But I just read yours. Do you know what I mean? You know you're my favourite, Kayam. That's not true. I'm just joking, mate. Your sound does a pound. Mark Voog, thank you very much for getting in it. Salim Umar, Craig C says, Pig, Tellez wanted 88 million euros a week, but Porto can't afford to pay that, which is why he's not signed a new. Oh, you mean 88,000 euros? Okay, yeah, fair play. Well, yes, mate. That probably sounds right. And the thing is, United can pay that. United can pay 90k a week. United can pay 100k a week. Matt Rush, thank you very much for the Romero update, mate. He's just said Romero update. Let's check my inbox feed. And shout out Alex for getting in here. How you doing, the Rinconator? Yes, lad. Here we go then. So there's a bit of update on bit of an update on Sergio Romero. Let's take a look at this. So this is quite interesting. Yeah, Valencia have reportedly contacted Manchester United and are ready to pay £6 million for Sergio Romero. Quite interesting. So he was being linked with Aston Villa. They obviously went a different route and got Martinez from Arsenal. There was just no value in Sergio Romero because of his wages. And if this is true, Valencia reportedly contacted United and are ready to pay £6 million for Sergio Romero. That's the latest report anyway. So it's quite interesting. Thank you for that, very much for that, Matt Rush. Valencia have reportedly contacted United and are ready to pay £6 million for Sergio Romero. We need to get some of our poor players away from this club for sure. It will generate a bit of cash. It will take some players off the weekly wage. It will get some stinkers out the dressing room. And it will just clear the way for Solskjaer to add and recruit some good players to this side. So that's what we need to do. Sergio Romero, as good as a player as he's been, I'm not saying he's a bad player because he's actually a good player for us. He's been a good player for us over the years. I really believe that. I think he's been the best backup goalie we've ever had. So to me, Sergio Romero is a great player and he deserves a lot of love from the United fans leaving this club because it's only really the fact that Dean Henderson's coming and he's just third in the pecking order that he wants to go. He doesn't necessarily want to go. He was happy being United's second goalkeeper and playing in those cup games and all that stuff. It's still a good job for a big team. So I've always enjoyed having Sergio Romero at the club, but he is on big money for what he is, which is a backup goalkeeper. And so if Valencia or somebody could come and take him off of our hands, it does make sense because Dean Henderson's going to be playing that role for us this season. So yeah, Sergio Romero, what do you guys think about that one? Would you like Sergio Romero to stay at United? Do you think it's good that we have the depth in the goalkeeper position of 3 players? I mean, he's not the first player that needs to go. Definitely not. We need to get rid of players like Pereira and Lingard and Smalling and Jones and Lindelof, if you ask me now. Ellie Night Ellie, thank you so much for getting in here. Rest up, Ellie. Get the fluids down here. Eat some nice food and rest up. Ellie, everyone, thank you so much for getting in here, Ellie. See you soon. Charlie MUFC says Ed Woodward looks like a turtle. JP says sell David De Gea. Well, you could generate a bit of cash selling David De Gea, but definitely not as much as when a few years ago when he was probably going to be worth about, crikey, I think there were some talks about 90 million quid for a goalkeeper, which is a heck of a lot of money, but probably not going to happen now, is it? Because he's gone down in valuation. Not just because of what's gone on in the world, but also because of his shit performances over the last 18 months. But today he was good. That's one good thing from the game. David was good. Also, in regards to some other transfer news we've got here with Manchester United, Fabrizio Romano tweeted tonight, an hour ago, just an update on Chris Smalling. So we've been talking about the potential move to Roma for a little while. We understood Inter was also interested in him, possibly. I think it was Inter, but there's another football club that was interested in him too. And that seems to be progressing again. Fabrizio Romano came out an hour ago and simply said, Fonseca, AS Roma's manager, to Sky Sports said, I need Chris Smalling. It's so important for me to bring him back. We've only 3 centre-backs, so I want Smalling here. So that's a complete come to Roma plea there by Fonseca, AS Roma's manager. We knew this anyway, that he was desperate to get him back because he had a good season for them last year. Even if they did sign another centre-back, look, they've only got a few there. Smalling's going to start for them. Smalling's going to be one of probably their best centre-back. He is a good player. And yeah, so that's picking up some steam as well. So that one, I think we've been talking about this for a while. That one's definitely going to happen. I think that one's you can't say definitely, but I think that one's definitely going to happen because Smalling wants to go back there. He's had a good time there. Personal terms are agreed. It's just negotiations with the football club again. We understand that Roma don't want to pay that much money. United holding out for at least 13, 14. Some reports say 20 million euros. Roma want to pay about 8 or something like that at the moment. So we'll see if they can meet in the middle somewhere and get a deal for Chris Smalling done. But I'd expect so because he's on decent money at United. He's another player that's surplus to requirements. That's just not really going to have a role at this football club at the moment. Mrs. P says steak pie coming your way. Thanks, Primot. I love his idea. What's Primot's idea? Primot, what's your idea, matey? Let's go back down and see what Primot's idea is if I can find it. Primot says, oh, no, Eddie Legend, I don't know. I don't know what the idea is. But anyway, thank you very much for that, Mrs. P. Trevoy Lawrence says, I'd rather go for a left-footed centre-back to partner Eric. Fair play to you, Trevoy. Well, yeah, we sort of missed out on Nathan Ake at the start of the window. That would have been good because he was cheap. He's 41 million, 24, had that connection with Donny van der Beek. So he's got that Dutch connection. But anyway, just to give you an update on the centre-back then. So Smalling to Roma, looks like that's going to happen. Also, Sergio Romero, now there's a little bit of interest in him as well, from what we understand from Valencia. Also, there's some report here, which is just a rumour at this stage, really. It's just a rumour, but we understand maybe Leeds United are interested in signing Daniel James. What do you think about Daniel James going to Leeds United, guys? Would you rather keep Daniel James, or would you sell him to Leeds United of all teams? Our bitter rivals, Leeds United. Smash a 1 in the live chat if you would sell Dan James to Leeds United. I personally would not. I think we should keep him for the season because we're actually lacking in a lot of areas. And if Rashford got injured or somebody, we could definitely do with Dan James. So I would definitely keep him this year. He's a backup. He should only ever be a backup for us. He's not going to be a starter. So he should just be a backup for us. That way, we're still going to have the depth in the side. So yeah, it's quite interesting. Some people keep James, says Gandalf. Kayam says keep. Zhenlol says sell him right now. If you were going to sell him, it wouldn't be a wise move to sell him to Leeds United, in my opinion. Just you don't want to sell him to Leeds, you know. Aaron Homeyard says 2. Kyan Banahashim says 2. Kayam says 2. Yeah, fair play. Interesting. I would keep it. I would keep him, though. I would keep him. But there's a rumour there anyway. Probably not too much basis behind it. Also, this is some funny rumour which is interesting, but I can't see this being legitimate. But there is a story going around tonight that Tottenham want to sign Jesse Lingard in a £30 million deal. Jose Mourinho is keen to be reunited with Lingard. Reunited, and it feels so good. And believes he can revive his career. Really? Really, Jose? Okay then, so yeah, anyway, I don't think that's legit, to be honest with you, because who in their right mind would want to sign Jesse Lingard? Certainly not for £30 million, which is what this article says. So I think that one's kind of just a bullshit story, guys, but either way, it's funny. Jesse Lingard, Tottenham link. That would be hilarious if they signed Jesse Lingard. I'd bloody love it. Gandalf says, get Lingy. Yeah, man, Gashu says 30 million, do it. There's no way we could generate 30 million for Jesse now. I think if he was sold, I would estimate his transfer value to be no more than 20 million. And most of that is for just the name that he is and the fact that he has played for United, England, all this stuff, and he has got a big social media following, which is a factor these days in terms of like commercial pull and stuff. Like a club like, I don't know, Torino or less, or one of these shit sides across the continent somewhere would pay Jesse Lingard a reasonable amount to have him. I don't know. But I doubt it. I doubt it would be 30 million. Mr. Miyagi says Lingard's value is 14 million. Yeah, I'd say somewhere around about that. 14 million, 20 million. His wages bring it down. That's the problem. You can't pay a lot of money for Jesse because you have to pay him a lot of wages, which makes the overall cost of the deal so much more. You could, if a player isn't on very good wages, then obviously their transfer value is going to be higher because the club doesn't have to commit as much weekly to the player. So that's a definite factor as well. Like Jesse Lingard's valuation is lower because he's on such high wages. Lucy Galbraith says 20 million. Yes. Cress Wilson says Jesse's worth 500k. He's worth like 1980s prices. You know what I mean? He's like Trevor Francis or something. Trevor Francis value. Only difference was Trevor Francis went in like bloody 1980, whatever it bloody was. He was the first £1 million player though. I think Gordon Strachan was one of the world. I think he was like 1.1 million, 1.3 million at some point as well. Like, anyway, it's a different day. It's a different day and age, wasn't it, to some of these guys back then when they used to go for £1 million, and that was considered a massive amount of money at the time. But 30 million for Lingard just doesn't sound legit to me at all, lads and lasses. Please do us a favour if you're watching this video, everyone. Thank you for watching and getting in here. Thank you for watching the watch along earlier, and thank you for watching the post-match reaction as well. Really appreciate every single one of you that watch those videos and gets involved with this channel in general. So appreciate every single one of you. The Bacon Brigade. I'm pretty knackered actually tonight after, like, that was just exhausted earlier, that watch, and I'm stressed to the max today as well. And that watch along was just super stressful too, to be honest, just watching United melt all over Old Trafford. So that was a big stressful evening for me, and I'm pretty exhausted. So this isn't going to be an hour and a half bad boy tonight, but I'll stay on here for about 20 minutes and answer a bunch of questions if you guys want to send any questions in. So please do. And we're almost at 200 likes, everyone. So if you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do smash the thumbs up on it. Fact of the matter is we need to get some players in. We need to get Sancho if we could, but we also, more importantly, need to get a centre-back. The only reason I see that happening is if we don't get Sancho, and if we decide to look elsewhere for that right-wing target. That will free up some money, free up some of the transfer budget, and get a centre-back and get Upemacano in. It's a no-brainer. Get Tellers in, Upemacano, and say David Neres, and we're laughing. And they're all realistic. They're all realistic acquisitions. United could go and sign those players. So why the hell not? Hell, get Badia Shield too for 22 million or something, whatever it is. 22 million for Badia Shield. Go and get him too. What's the worst that can happen? Takudzwa Mandodo comments, Lings for Sun plus add-ons. Well, if Tottenham wanted him that badly, they'd have to want him that badly if they're going to give up Son Heung-min, though, because Son Heung-min's a hell of a player. But if we could get that deal done, buying Son and giving him Lingard, that would be amazing. But that's not going to happen. Craig Andre Yogi says, Brighton up big. Nice one, Craig. Well, I hope we do Brighton up when we play Brighton, mate. That would be brilliant. Jarvis Cocker's loving it. David Murphy comments, Lingard is wanted by West Ham ladies. That was good. I just did a ladies laugh then. Likmar Balez comments, shout me out. Shout out Likmar Balez. Tushar Mehta comments, Upemacano has just signed a new deal. He will not come for sure, Flying Pig. That's silly. Players sign new deals all the time. If the money's paid by the club, they will definitely be available. That's the thing. You could sign a deal tomorrow and then somebody could come in and buy that player for way more value than he's actually worth, or meet the valuation of what he's worth and buy that player. So, yeah, I know what you're saying there, Tushar, but he's definitely available. And if a big club like the United came for him, I think he would come to United. If we paid him a bit more than he's getting there as well, he would definitely come to United. So even though he signed a new contract there, if we paid the money, we could get him. That's a big if, I admit, because I don't think our board are prepared to do it. But like we say, if we went and got him if we went and got Telles, if we went and got a right winger, if we went and got a CDM, we'd be laughing then. We'd actually be pretty well set then this season. But we are being left behind in this window, big time, by the other clubs doing business. Liverpool got Thiago and Jota. Chelsea got all those players. City has signed a couple. Everyone's signing players, but not Manchester United. Very frustrating and infuriating. Kayan Bana Hashim says, couldn't we get all three of them for 200 million? Yes, I think we could, Kayan Bana Hashim. You mean Sancho, Upemacano and Telles? Yeah, I think you probably could, mate, for 200 million if they were prepared to invest that. Especially if they're getting rid of a few of the Deadwood players, because a lot of those Deadwood players like Phil Jones, Jesse Lingard, Rojo, Smalling, they were all on good money. So if you actually did get rid of those players, even if it's for nothing, the wages that you would save would be able to basically pay the wages of those three players, because Sancho's not going to want much more than 250 grand a week. And I doubt it would even be that at this stage, and because you've got to sort of justify it and measure it up against players like Rashi and Martial and get that parity. So I don't even think it would be that. So I think we would be able to pay those players as well. Like, if you got those players off of our books and bought the other players for 200 million, then it wouldn't really make too much difference in the wage structure. We'd have got rid of Sanchez still. So we'd be laughing if we did that. Pierogies. What's a pierogi, Primot? I'm not sure if I've ever had a pierogi. Andy VL Fane comments, Victor Lindelof out 100%, man. He was a joker tonight, eh? JP says, is Jota worth 45 million? I think so in this current climate. He is a good player. And look, players are a lot of, these Premier League players especially, it's just a lot of money. It's difficult to, if Watford paid, what was it, £40 million for Ismail Assar, another player that we're linked to that I still think is a good option for us and that could definitely help us out. It's definitely better than Daniel James. Ismail Assar, definitely better than Daniel James, and he's cheap. They paid 40 million for him, so I do think Jota's worth that sort of money. Then again, that was a year ago or so, and there wasn't this pandemic on that kind of thing. But I don't know. I mean, it's a lot of money to pay for Jota, but he's a good player. He's a good player. I mean, you can't really get another player away from a Premier League club for cheap these days, I don't think. Lucy Galbraith says Dortmund won 3-0 today. That young kid who we're trying to sign was class. Forgot his name. Oh, Erling Haaland. Yeah, the striker up top. He's an absolute beast, isn't he? Unless you mean Sancho. We had a 25 million euro bid for Badiashile rejected, apparently. I haven't heard about that personally. I know we had some interest in him, but I don't know if we had one rejected. I thought that they sort of put a valuation on him of about that. G Wolf says Upemacano has got a 45 million release clause in January. There is those reports coming out. So Leipzig, if you offered them a bit more money, a fair bit more money, they might accept that offer. Also, there's some reports to say that the release clause does not come into effect until next summer. So it'd be basically a year from now, or not quite a year from now, when you'd be able to get him for that price. So that's another factor. CCR 2971 says Spurs would offer 10 million for Lingard. Well, if they offered 10 million for Lingard, we should sell him to them, to be fair. Mr. Edwards says, let's face it, technically we're screwed. The Glazers don't care. Woodward is rich. Ollie is swimming with no limbs. The team is lethargic like the club. Fans are livid and being laughed at. 100%, Mr. Edwards. It's a dire situation, mate, isn't it? Like, we do have to do something about this as fans. We've got to voice our discontent and our disdain at the way this club's run. And we need to sign the players now. It's as simple as that. Everyone can see how much we're going to suffer this season if we have any injury issues. If Farrell Wan-Bissaka's out, if Bruno's out, if some of our key players get injured, we don't have the players there to back them up. Thank you, Matty Rush. We've hit 192 likes. If you're just getting in here, guys, smash the thumbs up button on it, please, and see if we can get to 200. And if you're new to this channel as well, smash the subscribe button, because we cover all aspects of United on this show, including transfers. If you didn't see the match reaction, watch my reaction. It was pretty heated, I'm going to be honest. I sort of felt like it stressed me out more than usual, but it was kind of a reliever. It's kind of I definitely feel much more chilled out now, having chilled out a little bit. But it's only one game, but it was a dire performance. And if I think about the Glazers and the fact they haven't strengthened, and they've left Ollie in this position, Ollie, who I love and think he's been doing a good job, but they've left him in the position where he hasn't had the competition added into the side, and we don't have the depth there to deal with injury issues and these sorts of situations where we can't start certain players for whatever reason, whether it's the Spider or whether it's Greenwood or whether it's Matic, or if we don't have certain key players in the team, we're screwed. Tony Shields says, stop the Sancho talk. Why would he come to United where he is doing well where he is? It's a bigger club, to be fair. Dortmund's a good club, don't get me wrong, but Man United is a bigger club. That's just a fact. Just a fact. Devil of a Red says Lingard is wanted by the FBI. Plus, it's in England and he is from England. Devil of a Red says Lingard is wanted by the FBI for fraud. He's posing as a football player. So true. And also, Lindelof as his sidekick is wanted by them as well. Lucy Galbraith says Bellingham. Oh, Bellingham, yeah, the 16-year-old lad. Oh, fair play to you, Lucy. Yeah, well, if he's been doing the business, that's annoying because that's another player that United could have got, a young lad. But 16 would have really been playing in this side, not for a while, but certainly he's a good player. Exclusive Vibe says, I want Grealish in Manchester United. He would have been nice, but there's no value in the Grealish deal. He's just signed a new deal. You probably have to pay 70 million to get Jack Grealish, if not a little bit more. Gift Steven says, what about getting Bernard Shady from Juve? Good winger, good option. Yeah, fair play. Look, I would love to just get anybody in this team. Anybody that's credentialed to come and join in, even like Diego Costa or Douglas Costa, whatever, like even just as a backup. But certainly these are the players that I like the most and players that I think are realistic. David Neres at Ajax, 23, Brazilian winger. Good stats, impressive. I would definitely get him in there. He's growing and getting better as a player. And he wouldn't be that much money, I don't think, because it's from Ajax again. And they just can't demand the amount of money that a lot of leagues can, a lot of teams can in other leagues, in the top leagues. I also think that Ismaila Sarr from Watford is a good option right now. He can play either flank. He can play up top even. Okay, he only got 6 assists, 6 goals last season for Watford in 28 league games in the Prem. That's not terrible for a team that got relegated. Like, he would get more opportunities at United to score and create, you would think. So Ismaila Sarr's a good option. He's cheap, man. You can get him. He's 22. He's getting better. He fits the bill. So I would go and get Ismaila Sarr if I was Ole Gunnar. I would go and get David Neres as well, because it's not a lot of money, and a club like United should have quality in depth there. I would definitely get a centre-back. I'd definitely get a left-back in this window. Like, he needs those minimum. Forget Sancho at this stage, as far as I'm concerned, unless they are going to spend the 200 million and get Sancho, Upemacano and Telles, which they're not going to do, then don't even bother with Sancho. Go and spend that 120 million on Neres, Sarr, Upemacano, Telles. You get the lot of them for 120 million. You really would. So why not go and do that? It makes so much more sense for Ole. Really improves the whole situation overall. QT007 says, where is our friggin' defence? They're having a mare. Hey, by the way, everybody stick a birthday cake emoji in Ryan Burberspin 9 for Ryan Burberspin 9 in the comments section, because it is 28 minutes left of Ryan Burberspin 9's birthday. Happy 30th, Ryan Berber. Good lad. What a top lad. CCR2971 says, sell James to Leeds, 12 million off Sancho. Well, there you go. It's a good point. It's a good point, and James isn't really up to it, but we do need a bit of depth, don't we? And selling him to our rivals, the Leeds, the scummy Leeds, that is a bold move. Ryan says, let's just have a nice chat. Was a crap game, but I don't take it out on each other. What's going on? Is there some bantering going on I'm not aware of? Diego Gomez says, they have stolen the penalty from De Gea. I agree, mate. De Gea said that legit. That was just wrong and harsh, and they shouldn't have gone back and looked at that. Hey, Gungshi, how's it going, matey? He says, I can't stay on as it's 6:30 a.m. and I still haven't slept and I have to be up in a few hours. Oh, Gungshi, mate, thank you so much for stopping back in here and getting in. I did see you commented on my previous video. It was a long comment and I had to set this video up, so I will respond to it and everybody else is on that video soon. But Gungshi, thank you so much for getting back in here to say hello. 6:30 a.m., you better get off to bed, sunshine. You know what I mean, Gungshi? But thank you very much for getting in here. One of the legends of the channel. Everybody put those heart emojis in the live chat for Gungshi. Honestly, because that guy shows me a lot of love. I want us to show him a massive amount of love. He's a legend. Cress Welsing, thank you, Cress. Oh, you legend, Cress. He says, he sent a super chat over. He says, get half a bottle of scotch in. You have cheered me up no end this evening. What you and Mrs. P are doing is superb. Oh, Cress Welsing. Oh, Cress, that's such a nice super chat comment there, dude. Thank you very, very much for that, man. I'm really, really, really thankful of that, mate. Thank you very much. Cress Welsing, everybody. Smash a thumbs up in the emoji in the live chat for Mr. Cress Welsing. Legend. Tiger Force, shout out Tiger Force as well. Hey, if you want to check out Tiger Force's YouTube channel, I think he's a young lad with not that much experience on YouTube, but if you want to help him out, you can go watch his videos. It's Tiger Force, everyone. Tiger Force X1. Nice one, mate. No worries, Tiger Force. Pida says, does anyone know the rules for handball? The referees seem not... Yeah, I don't really know what happened there. I mean, I think the rules are now, if it's in the line of the goal and basically there's any contact from the player, even if it's sort of like ball to hand, they still give it as a bloody penalty. Now, that's what it seems like. Because Lindelof, although he basically had his limb out from the side of his body, though. If he had his arms like flat to his body, they wouldn't have obviously awarded the penalty like that. But because his arm was flapping out there, it did mean that it was a pen. So Lindelof just had an ultimate nightmare. That one was pretty unfortunate. He couldn't really do much about that one, but it still was typical of Lindelof to be a melt that for us and give away a penalty. First class gamer says ball hit hand. That's right. It used to be, you know, ball to hand, not hand to ball. That's what they used to say, but I don't think it is that anymore. It seems not like it anyway. Victor Davies says, yes, it is. Gungshi the GOAT, says JP. Absolutely, Gungers. Thanks so much for stopping by and getting in, mate. Have a great sleep. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, my friend. Gungshi, by the way, keep a lookout for a little parcel. That's all I'm going to say. Keep a lookout for a parcel, Gungshi. That's all I'm going to say. I did want to send you a whole bunch of English things like Jaffa cakes and shit like that. But have you seen how much it costs to send stuff to Taiwan, buddy? You know what I mean? Like, it costs a shit ton. I didn't realise. We're talking like 50 quid for a parcel of some food. You know what I mean? So anyway, but you're going to have to keep a lookout, Gungshi, because something's on the way, just as a little thank you. But anyway, Idionitis says, if Lindelof and Maguire play in next game, we are going to lose from Brighton. Abdelatif Shari says, Lindelof was the worst performer today. He's not really that bad, but his partnership with Maguire ain't working. Yeah, they're too similar. What we want is a bit of yin and yang. We want a bit of yin and... What? We want a bit of yin and yang. You know what I mean? Like, balance. That's what we need. But unfortunately, we've got yin and yin, or yang and yang. We don't have yin and yang. We've got yin and yin and yang and yang. And that's not good. We need yin and yang or yang and yin, not yin and yin and yang and yang. You know what I mean? Good night, Gungshi. Have a cracking evening, mate. Thank you very much for getting in here. Adebayo Fawa says, nothing is wrong with Lindelof. He just needs to improve. Meanwhile, Maguire, I mean, the guy just stands there and does absolutely nothing. He is ridiculously slow and annoying. Yeah, you're right. Very slow. He's just not up to the standard either, really. Abdelatif Shari says, I would rather play Wan-Bissaka paired Fosu Mensah than Maguire. And pair Fosu Mensah and Maguire. So, yeah, it's an interesting argument there. JP says, I'll take Gungshi's parcel in my Lambo. Good man. Please do. Devil of a Red says, the Porch Pirates will be after you, Gungshi. Mr. Edwards says, we've got Dumb and Dumber. Very, very true, yeah. Mark, yeah. Ing, yeah. Bird, yeah. Marking, bird, don't. Everybody, have you heard? Gonna buy me a marking bird. Anyway, Craig C says, Pig, did you watch the Arsenal game? He says, I wasn't impressed with Gabriel. How many headers did he miss? Not great in the air at all. Maybe dodged a bullet there. To be honest with you, I did not watch the Arsenal game at all. First Class Gamer says, Pig's naming all my cousins. Kayan Panahashim says, Yang and Yang, two bad defenders. There you go. We got Yang and Yang. JP says Gurn and Yang, sorry. G-Will says, Pig, have you seen the Arsenal's handball referee consistent? I haven't, mate, no. I haven't. I thought that whole incident with today with the refereeing was shit, though. The way that they gave that De Gea penalty again. Bullshit. Abba Latif says, play Lindelof with Bailly and he wouldn't come off that bad. Yeah, or Maguire with Bailly. Ahmed says they're both not good enough. It's true. RearGV, thank you, RearGV, you legend. He says smash a like for the pig. Yeah, I'll say it again. If you have not hit that thumbs up button, it will help this channel out and help this stream out tremendously if you could smash that like button. So please do leave a cheeky little like rating on the video. And also, if you are new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, get involved. We smashed 29k tonight. So shout out to everyone who's been a part of this channel and is new to this channel as well. Shout out all the new subscribers. Shout out all the old subscribers. Shout out all of the Bacon Brigade. Appreciate the lot of you. Sonny Bradley says, Thiago Alcantara, oh man, he's had a nightmare, hasn't he, stitching us up, using us as leverage to go to Liverpool. We missed out there. What can I say? We don't necessarily have the pull of these other teams at the moment, for whatever reason, or we're not prepared to spend the extra money. But then we don't want a player who's only coming to us just for a bit of extra money, really. He obviously had his heart set on Liverpool. JP says, help Pig to 30k legends. Yeah, if you can share these videos and tell your friends about it, that'd be sick too. Thank you, JP. Ilya United says, Matt, ban this Craig Melter spamming. Hang on, don't worry. Just let the mods do their they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They're son. Harry Davies says, sign Tellez, Florentino from Benfica, and Upemacano. Sancho next summer. Hate to say it. I agree, Harry Davies. We need to do something in the short term now to improve the overall team. Not just one position in the team, but the overall team. Jake the Muss says, City fan, but I'll give you a like. Sure, why not? Jake the Muss, mate. That's, fair play to you, mate. You're a sound lad, then. Sounds like you're a sound lad. So appreciate that one. Zaki comments, how are you? Mate, I'm not too bad, dude. How are you doing, Zaki? Stephen T.Y. says, my energy is totally drained after the match. Me too, bro. Me too, bro. I don't know how I'm even still on here, actually, because it's 20 to 12 and I've just had a general melter of a day anyway. But, I do love doing these videos, guys, and I wanted to just come on and after I've gotten the most of it off of my chest and talk about United's transfer window and what we need to do, which ultimately is strengthen overall. Forget Sancho right now, get Upemacano, get Tellez, get a right winger who fits the bill, whether it's Zaha, whether it's Neres, whether it's Coman, whoever it is, just get a good player there. To help us out and get Sancho at a later date if we can still get him. That makes so much more sense. Overall, improve the team. We need that centre-back. Lindelof's gash. Simple as that, really. Sheeta Boy says, I'm at the point where if I watch the game like my nan, I haven't got a clue what the rules are now. Crazy says, what's your problem? Mind your business. Vincent Bullock says, 301 watching, 87 likes. What's wrong with people? I think you need to refresh it, actually, Vincent Bullock. I think there's more likes on it than that. I think it's just where yours hasn't updated, I believe. JP says, Pig, do some stupid vids of stroking snails in the garden. Instant views. What the hell's that about, mate? I don't get that. What do you mean? Why would that get views? Josh Killeen says, Spurs fan, but love your comment. Well, we won't hold that against you, Josh. Thank you very much for that and getting in here, bud. Appreciate it. F the Glazers and Woodward, says Jonathan Gallagher. Absolutely. Crash Spin says United have to put 108 million bid to Dortmund. They are yet to accept. Well, if they have, then, they're probably never going to accept because that's a cracking offer. They're not going to get more than that for him at this moment. So either they want to sell him or they don't. If they don't, we've got to move on to the next target. Sun Wukong says, Ed Woodward said no. Cress Welsing says, I don't think Sancho would have saved anyone today. Very true. We need an overall improvement in the team. You're right, Cress. We need to look at the other positions. Stephen T.Y. says, I felt bad for Van der Beek. Me too. He looked like he joined a complete circus show or something. Ashley Jenkins comment, Maguire is gashed too. Yeah, he is. That's true, Ashley Jenkins. He was not good today either. He's too slow. He was at fault for that second goal. Or that first goal, rather. Jimmy Pavlovich says, even Leon Bailey would be a good signing. Absolutely, he'd be a good signing, yeah. Adovit says, even the we can't spend like Chelsea, Klopp is splashing the cash. Yeah, disgusting. G-Wolf says, 221 likes. Thank you, G-Wolf, lad. Victor Davies says, I like the video of you and your brother. Thank you, Victor Davies. Yeah, I've done a few of them, actually, but the last podcast we did where that was, we were talking about, it was 1 year on from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's appointment, and we were just talking about what was going to happen and how things have gone. It's just quite interesting to see where our heads at were then. Kevin Webster says Rashford is gash. Kevin Webster from Corrie. Kevin Webster from Coronation Street. Kevin Webster. Yeah, that's funny, mate. You've got Kevin Webster with the old 80s moustache as your avatar as well. That's class, mate. I don't know why that's tickled me that, mate, but I needed that, Kevin Webster, mate. Kevin Webster, mate. My name's Kevin Webster. Yeah, I'm working on cars after. I can't do his accent though, to be fair. But he's got a funny voice, doesn't he? I like that, man. What's this missus called, man? How have I forgot this missus? Gail. You know what I'm talking about, Gail. I can't do the voice, but no worries, Tiger Force, mate. No worries. Sung Wukong, First Class Gamer, Jonathan Gallagher, Josh Killeen, Jason Owl says pressure is on after day one. Very true. The pressure is on now. Kumail Gaming comments, Pig, where do you predict United will finish? Fourth. I'm going fourth now. I still think we'll get fourth, but fourth. We've got to win games against Brighton and Crystal Palace, though. Takudzwa Mandundo comments, McTominay showed he is worth it. I don't know if he is that L'Oreal to me, man. I don't think he's that worth it. The performance was embarrassing, says Matthew 1903. I agree. It was shit. Bruce McIntosh says, poor guy had to shag Sally. Oh, was it Sally? Shit. Yeah, Sally. It's not Gail, is it? Shit, I've forgotten. I've got my. Yeah, that was it. It was Sally. Hey, to be fair, you know, Sally weren't too bad, mate. I'd have given Sally one back in the day. Maybe not now, but back in the day, I'd have given Sally one. Sorry, I probably shouldn't have given you my opinion there, you know. But there you go. I mean, that's just real talk. Harry Davies is about to get bullied on Monday. Hurt my knee as well. Oh, don't you hate it, mate? I agree. That is terrible. Jake the Masters, United need a reset. Unfortunately, Woodward is keeping them happy. Yeah, fair play. Riyad GV says, happy Saturday, everybody. Enjoy it, responsible, not like me. Nice one, Riyad GV. Dennis Shusser says, we need a director of football. Kameo Gaming says, Pig, who do you think was better in the past, Chelsea or Arsenal? Well, Chelsea, I guess Chelsea, because they've done... I mean, before Roman Abramovich, definitely Arsenal. But post-Roman Abramovich, definitely Chelsea. They've won the Champions League and multiple leagues and stuff like that. I don't think Arsenal have won the league since, is it 2004 or some shit? So they're a long time without winning the league as well. Champ for show. Abba Latif, Sabina Akhtar says, I signed Sancho, Tennis and Upemacano on Football Manager. Or at least Manchester United have got those players somewhere. Sabina, that's lovely. JP Umar Farouk says the players are an absolute mess today. Very true. Mark Alexander, shit, stop talking about other teams because we ain't better than the top 8 times. We got to play Spurs, Arsenal, Everton. I'm coming and watching United, too much pain. Fair play, Mark. Yeah, October's going to be shit, mate. We've got Newcastle, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, is it? I forget. But we've got some tough fixtures in October. It's going to be difficult. Sally Webster says 6, says Jim Joe Bobby. Let's have a look, make sure I'm thinking of the right one because I don't watch a lot of Corrie, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, no, she weren't too bad back in the day, but yeah, now, I mean, look, you know, now. Now it ain't ideal, but there you go. That's all I'm saying. Sorry, that's just my personal opinion as a 33-year-old man. No offense. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Age is just a number. You know, some people look at Wayne Rooney. Look at Wayne Rooney. He loves an older bird. Oh dear, Ahmed. Ollie's not going to walk away. Neither should he walk away. He's been a really good character in this United side, and he's done really well over the last couple of years that he's been in his more time, more development. Ryan Berberspin says, I always like that Carla. Yes, Carla, mate, the tanned sort of tanned bird, Carla Corrie. See if it's the one I'm thinking of. Oh no, it's not the one I'm thinking of. You're thinking of that one, Linda Block from Dream Team. Yeah. No, I was thinking of somebody else. I was thinking of one of the ones that worked in the salon in Corrie. Anyway, never mind. Don't worry about it. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. I think I'm going to wrap this one up now, guys, because, you know, it's been a long evening, but thank you so much to everybody that's watched this video and got in it and given me your thoughts and opinions. Really appreciate it. If you're new to this channel, as I say, smash the subscribe button and click the bell icon as well to be notified when we go live. Yeah. Wasn't it one of Kevin Webster's daughters turned out to be pretty tasty, actually, I think, which sounds a bit messed up when you say that, but she is obviously, you know, like in her late 20s or something now, so it's acceptable to say that. Whatever her name is, but yeah, forget what her name is now. Okay, guys, thank you everyone for tuning in. Bell6891 says, just got here. You're going to have to go back and watch the rest of the vid probably, matey, to give you a roundup. But thank you so much for getting in here. Please do smash the like before you go. Louisa Ada says, Director of Football, Edwin. That would be the biggest sign-in, Louise. Upemacano, centre-back, left-back, Tenes, Saul Niguez, CDM, and get Nabry. Great shouts. If we could do that, then we'd be back to business, but unfortunately we're not. Umar Farouk, thank you. Mark O, big up yourself too. Zen Lol, Craig C, Jarvis Cocker, Harry Davies, Sonny Bradley, First Class Gamer, Rosie, is it? Rosie, yes. Yeah, I'm shit with the names because I haven't watched much Corrie. I used to watch a bit of EastEnders, actually, back in the day, but I still haven't watched that for a long time. And a bit of Hollyoaks as well back in the day. That was full of some stunners, to be fair. A nice one. Alan Moore as well. Appreciate it. Jim Joe Bobby, JP, Ryan Berberspin, 9, Jonathan Gallagher, Jimmy Palovic, Sonny, G Wolf, Mr. Miyagi, Victor Davies, Palumi Moralari, Inner United, Mrs. P, Ashley Jenkins, Josh Smith, Fernando Villa, Bruce McIntosh, Ria GV, QT007, Adavitz, Illy United, Bell6891. Thank you very much. You too, buddy. Have a great evening, Bell. Chip Douglas, Craig C. Where's my money? Where's my money, man? Where's my money? Give me back my money. Where's my money, man? Says Kumar Gaming, Wisdom Godson, Jonathan Gallagher, Jarvis Cocker, Ryan Berber, Jim Joe Bobley, Abba Latif Sharif, The Trooper, Tedzuka Mandonda, Chip Douglas, JP Vincent Bullock, Ashley Jenkins, Matty the Rushmeister. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for getting involved. Come back after this video is finished. Have your say in the not live comments, and I'll respond to you there about who United should sign in this window. What we should do. Should we not go after Sancho anymore? Should we go and get the centre-back and a couple of other positions sorted instead? Come back, have your say. Let me know where it went wrong as well tonight. And thank you very much for watching. Nasala Garnage. Thank you very much, Nasala Garnage. Mark Voot as well. Absolute legend. JP. Primot. Thank you very much, Primot. I don't actually, where's my money? I don't. Taduzda Makondonda. I love that name, by the way. I probably completely butchered it. Takudzwa Mandondo. There we go. I think I nailed it. Aaron Homeyard, have a great evening. The Trooper. Jimmy Pavlovic, Ilya United, Ryan Berber. That's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Have a bloody great one. This is the Pig. Unfortunately, United are still a little bit on the shite side, and we need to strengthen. And Woodward and the owners, they need to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now. They need to back him in this window. And until they do that, you're not going to see much of an improvement out there on the side. We need competition, and we need better players in certain key areas. Go and get Upemacano. Go and get a right winger. Go and get Telles. Minimum. Thanks for watching, lads and lasses. Have a great weekend. I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully there'll be a bit of positive news from United. A bit of something, you know. News for a player coming or some shit like that. But probably not. See you later on, everyone. Have a great evening. Peace out, my homies. Gung Shi, thank you very much. Have a great evening, mate. Get off to bed, Gungers. Mark Alexander, Albert Lawal, Mark Voot, Gungers, Ahmed, Ahmed, Fernando, Lynette Giggs. Thank you, Lynette, for stopping by. Fernando Villa. Everyone, peace out, homes. Homies. Legends, thank you everyone for watching. And that's cheered me up. I've cheered myself up a little bit. And you guys have seriously cheered me up tonight, because just been a stressful day and that was an awful game of football. So it's just nice to, you know, relieve a bit of stress and interact with you legends. So, yeah. Great stuff. This is just the Patreon credits. Palmarius, hello. Patreon credits. Kalisa, Calixta as well. This is just Kevin Schweringen. This is just the Patreon credits to say thank you everyone for supporting this show on Patreon. All these people on this list right here, all these names and legends, the accolades, the Hall of Fame, so to speak. Thank you for supporting the show on Patreon, and also Tier 2 channel members appear on this list. I've got a couple more people to add soon, which I will. So thank you everyone who's watched this vid. Give it a like before you go. And yeah, nice one. What do you mean I forgot the sound? Is the sound still... Oh, you're winding me up, Vincent Bullock. Anyway, guys, take it easy. See you in a bit. Thanks for watching. Have a cracking evening. Jarvis Cocker, have a cracker. Oh, United, United, United. Sign some bloody players. This is the Pig. See you soon.